comes Davey, Allison to the bottom. It'll be the finish everybody was waiting for. They crashed past the finish line.
That night, it's the wreck.
Yeah. We got put in the back for the last segment, and we're pretty much doing what we did the year before. You know, they were side by side, and then they got together. The noise from the hit over all the crowd, everybody's standing up and screaming. I still remember it just flew
thud.
Boom. So we had to end pit, and the thing sliding down through there. So I ran down there, the car parked right at the exit of the road course. So I got there, and there's fire up underneath the hood. So I get in there, and he's laid out, and I said, man, this ain't good. So I pulled the pin on the fire extinguisher, getting ready to pull it, and then Elmo comes in there, and he's got his guys, and they get the fire out. Because if I'd have pulled that pin, it would have probably choked him.
Yeah,
because we had one that went to the motor, and then we had one that went beside him. I'm looking at him, and he had these old big veins in his neck, and he's laid over there. You know, he's laid over there like that, and they're sitting there pumping. Mm-hmm. And it was the first race that we had the jaws of life. Okay. And Elmo's over there. Okay, we're gonna cut the roof off of it. Just we'll leave him alone. Race is over and all that. And so we couldn't get that thing cranked for the longest time. I had to go run down and get some ether and come back and get the
jaws.
Yeah. So he was unconscious, and then him and Larry got in the ambulance, and they went down to the infield care center. And Larry kept saying, he come to, and he said, where we finished? Larry said, we won. Oh, okay. And he did that. And but I mean, that year in '92, we'd win or wreck.
The very first one hot night, and I tell people all the time, we had an interesting start to 1992. You know, we started off by winning the Daytona 500, but then we kind of got into a pattern or a trend where we were winning one week, wrecking one week, winning one week, wrecking one week. And by gosh, that night we figured out how to do both in one night.
Yes.
Well, we won it, and then we had to take him out of the top of the car. I remember so vividly about that particular thing with Kyle Petty, I guess, coming off of that fourth turn at Charlotte. Oh, we're going to win this thing because I think Earnhardt had a problem in turn 3 and 4. Davey passed him, and of course Kyle Petty was there. We got the checkered flag, but we were upside down getting it. I'll never forget going to the winner's circle, I guess you could call it, and they had Davey's car on a wrecker. You remember that?
Oh, and I remember your brother Robert Yates. I never saw him very mad. But that may be the maddest I ever saw him.
He was. I'll never forget it. I never seen him that mad, and I grew up with him. We tussled a lot. But
and I see a wrecker with a car on it backing up into Victory Lane.
Beaten, battered Ford Thunderbird up here in Victory Lane.
No, I don't like wrecks. I hate wrecks. I jumped on the wrecker and I asked the guy to stop. And he says, they told me to, and he started backing again, and I hit the side of his wrecker with my fist. I mean, I know put a big dent in it. The next one's going to be in your head. You're not taking this car in there.
He was really mad at them bringing that wrecked car in there in Winter's Circle, and Davey was in infirmary or at the hospital. And it, like you said, it was a tough night, but a good night, and it turned out all right.
Well, the interesting thing about that he had sat on the pole.
Larry McReynolds, Robert Yates, and all the guys at the shop, and especially the pit crew are what made this possible. I lost some time coming in the pits. I didn't have a good entry into the pits, and we had a killer pit stop, and they put us back out there, and it was enough to make the difference.
And we had won, I think, the first segment, and then they inverted, and we came back to finish, I think, maybe top 3 or top 4 in the next segment. But we'd gotten a little bit off. The car had gotten a little bit tight. And I remember when they took the white flag, we were running third to Dale and Kyle. And I was a little disappointed because, you know, it's like I knew had I just done a better job of keeping up with the changes that we could have won back-to-back All-Star races. But at the same time, I said, you know, we're going to finish third. We've learned a lot. We'll put some pages in our notebook. And then when Kyle and Dale drove off into turn 3 and Kyle got Dale loose and spun him, and when they came off turn 4, and I saw Kyle Petty and Davey Allison side by side, I thought to myself, I know who's going to win this drag race, and his name's Robert Yates.
Yeah. You're so right. That was a very exciting race, really. Probably one of the better ones that we ever had in Charlotte. But I'll never forget that night. I think I took the car back to our race shop that night. Got there about 3 o'clock in the morning, and didn't get home probably 5 o'clock in the morning after that race. But it was all, I guess, it was all worth it in the end. I just worried about Davey, but we raced the next week.
Standing by with Robert Yates, the team owner. First of all, we want to know, is Davey okay?
Yeah, Davey's okay. It did knock him out, momentarily, but he says he's fine. He won the race. He, gave a big thumbs up when we told him he won.